This season was the most weird one since 2004. This was more weird than matching your sister on Tinder. Footballing scriptwriters were moving like they are about to overthrow Breaking Bad. Here are some weird things that happened this season. Let's start off from the most weird ones. Tottenham wins the Europa League. The last time Tottenham won a trophy, Bitcoin was not created. The last time Tottenham won a trophy, Rihanna was looking like this. Now she's a mother of 3 who's trying so hard to stay young. Spurs finally crossed the line after 17 years. But let's be honest, this has to be the weakest run to win a European trophy. Come on, in the knockouts, you guys played AZ Alkmaar, Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, and to finish it off, you guys played the worst Manchester United team to grace this planet. But big respect to Ange Postecoglou for saying this.
And I think I'll correct myself. I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed.
And you're confident you can do that with this side? You're seeing enough?
Well, I just saw us said it now, so...
The fact that he said this after losing the North London derby and still delivered makes it even more cold. The fact that Tottenham finished 17th in the league and still made it to the Champions League makes it look like something you'll see in a Disney movie. PSG wins the Champions League. PSG have just won the Champions League for the first time in forever. Since PSG got adopted by a rich dad in 2011, they have had the best players and still couldn't lift the trophy. Come on, they have literally had the goat, the turtle, and the lion, and all they could do was choke every season. To now think that they've won it with a bunch of nobodies is like learning that someone was offered a Porsche 911 but declined it to forever use the local bus. I feel sorry for Mbappe. This guy left for Madrid to win the Champions League, only for his former team to win it, while he goes trophyless in Madrid. Crystal Palace win the FA Cup. Crystal Palace just won their first ever major trophy. Now this is what gives me confidence that I'm going to back the baddie I met at the supermarket the other day. They did not only win the FA Cup, they beat actual Manchester City. You know, treble winners 2 years ago. The fact that they started the season slower than that particular character from Zootopia and still won a trophy is a big win for Oliver Glasner. I can't wait to see Crystal Palace in the Europa League. Newcastle wins the Carabao Cup. Newcastle just won a trophy in 70 years. I know this trophy changes its name more than I change my clothes, but still, what an achievement by Newcastle. The fact that they beat the champions of England in a final just makes it more remarkable. Back in December 2021, these guys had just won 1 game in 20 matches and were sitting comfortably in the relegation spots with my granddad Steve Bruce on the wheel. The fact that Eddie Howe managed to turn the ship around and got them winning a trophy while qualifying for the Champions League makes him the best English manager in recent years. Bologna wins the Coppa Italia. Before this season, Bologna had not won a trophy in 56 years. The last time they won a trophy, nightclubs were still known as discos and the Beatles had just separated. These guys lost their manager and key players like Calafiori, Zagzi, and Arnautovic and still managed to beat the great AC Milan in the final. The last few years have definitely been a lot of fun being a Bologna fan. Harry Kane wins a trophy. Harry Kane is 31 years and has scored more than 450 goals, and still, up to this season, he had won 0 trophies. He was literally a virgin when it comes to lifting trophies. Damn, imagine losing your virginity at 31. He escaped Tottenham to win trophies at Bayern, only to lose the Bundesliga to a team who had never won the trophy before. At this point, the Hurricane curse was real. I mean, how do you move to a club who wins trophies every year and still end up trophyless?
Embarrassing!
The curse was finally broken after Bayern won the Bundesliga, the same year that Spurs won a trophy. I know that must have hurt a bit. Manchester United finished 15th in the league. When I was growing up, Man United used to be a serious club. Teams used to fear playing against the great Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson had his team producing results even at their lowest point, until he left in 2013, and it's been a clown show ever since. Back in 2014, Man United fans were losing it and calling for Moyes to be assassinated for finishing 7th in the league. Well, it's a decade later and every Man United fan will gladly sell their family to get that 7th position. The most depressing part is that they fell off after finishing 8th last season. Plus, they just lost the Europa League to the worst Tottenham side. Kylian Mbappe scores a direct free kick. Mbappe has scored more than 250 goals and has been one of the best players since 2017. It's weird to think that of all those goals, none had ever been a free kick before this season, especially coming from an explosive winger with a nice shot. It's funny to think that a guy who started his career as a centre-back like Declan Rice has more free kick goals than Mbappe. The best part is that he scored his first free kick in a Clasico final, which he proceeded to lose. There was literally a Twitter account that had been running since 2023 dedicated to Mbappe never scoring a free kick. RIP to that account, by the way. Arsenal goes trophyless. Okay, this was not weird. Everyone and their mama knew that Arsenal would go trophyless. Go ahead, Eagles win the Dutch Cup. I know this team sounds like a slogan that will be used by a basketball team, but these guys just won the Dutch Cup for their first time ever in history. This is their first proper trophy since 1933. This year was surely the year of the underdogs. If your club did not break a trophy drought this season, it's probably never happening. And yes, I'm looking at you, Arsenal. Come on, even the Chiefs won a trophy this season. The UCL League format. I knew that this season would be weird when I saw an extended league format in the Champions League. We experienced some of the most diabolical results in this league. Man City finished 22nd, Juventus finished 20th, Real Madrid and Bayern finished 11th and 12th respectively. Aston Villa and Lille somehow finished in the top 8, and Leipzig could only manage 3 points. Rafinha scores 30 plus goals in all competitions. Back in June 2024, if you would have told anybody that Rafinha will score 30 plus goals, they would have looked at you as if you just said that KSI makes great music. If you would have told Rafinha that he would score 30 plus goals for Barcelona, he would have told you that he won't even be playing for the club. The highest goals this guy had ever scored was 11, and that was back when he almost got relegated with Leeds. He was busy flirting with Saudi clubs until he saw this on Instagram. At this point, he just took it personally and decided to unleash his inner Brazilian. He got involved with 50 plus goals while being the top scorer in the Champions League. Scott McTominay wins the Serie A MVP. When Napoli signed McTominay, I thought it was a weird move. I thought he was washed and he could have all the legacy of pineapple on pizza in Naples. Turns out they were signing the best player of the season. This guy proceeded to score 12 goals from midfield and helped Napoli win the Serie A, while his former club Manchester United were rotting in the bottom half of the league. Liverpool lose to Plymouth in the FA. Back in December, Liverpool was so good that there were talks about winning the quadruple. These talks started fading away faster like some counterfeit gold chain when Liverpool lost to Plymouth, a team that literally got relegated from the championship, a team that recently had Wayne Rooney at the wheel. This was literally the start of a downfall. After losing to relegated threatened Plymouth, they proceeded to get dumped out of the Champions League by PSG and then lost the Carabao Cup to Newcastle. Yeah, talk about choking. Man City wins 1 game in 13 matches. Between end of October and Boxing Day, Man City lost 9 games and drew another 3. That's the worst run of form that Guardiola has ever gone through. Don't let that position 3 finish fool you. These lot were terrible. This was the lowest points that City had ever put up since 2011. During this period, they embarrassed themselves by losing to the worst Tottenham team, the worst Manchester United team, Bournemouth, Brighton, and they still found time to choke a lead against Feyenoord in the Champions League while still losing to a terrible Juventus team. Aberdeen wins the Scottish Cup. Aberdeen beat the mighty Celtic to win their first trophy since 1996. Union St. Gilois, or simply USG, wins their first Belgian league title since 1935. Damn, 1935. Back then, my grandma was still a bad. It has surely been a weird year. Let me know in the comments if there is any moment that I missed. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with your friend who is just idle in this off season, since all he does is watch football. See you in the next one.